Good morning to all of you and welcome to the program agenda. I'm your host, Sita Beltran, thanking you for joining us once again here on the program. And of course, as always, thank you for being subscribers of Cignal TV and viewers of One News. Maraming salamat po for those of you who watch us on Facebook and on YouTube. And we really appreciate that you spend time with us. We hope you will learn, as I always learn from our guests. And today, we are going to be talking about something quite interesting. I asked the team to invite some experts or people who have a better grasp, better understanding of the social media platforms. For instance, like TikTok, Instagram, etc. Because for the most part, Filipinos use it for entertainment and for self-promotion. But I have been coming across several types of postings or content where it is actually geared at promoting community interests and improving community business. So we'll talk about that later in the program. But first, just in case you're not looking at the calendar, it's March 14, tomorrow is March 15, and historically it is called the Ides of March. It is more known for the time when Julius Caesar, the Emperor of Rome, was assassinated and led to that Shakespearean play featuring Brutus, okay? But more important, in the same manner, the Ides of March tomorrow, okay, is the final day of payment. Para sa ating mga Pilipino, April pa yun when we have to pay our income tax. But anyway, today, March 14, 2023, it's a Tuesday. And our daily starter comes from a preacher, Bishop T.D. Jakes. And it goes, when you break through the glass ceiling, you will be bloodied. Okay, this is something that everyone should always have in mind, keep in mind, because everybody talks about breaking through the glass ceiling, getting through the barriers, etc., breaking convention. And it's all good to be pioneering, to be breakthrough. Pero tandaan nyo lang po, when you go against an established barrier or a system, chances are you will get yourself bloodied. Kumbaga, duguan ng magkakagalos-galos, duduguin kayo. But I'm just saying this not to discourage you, but to help you have a very realistic perspective. Because some of you may actually be doing that right now, breaking through the glass ceiling or the barriers, and you're asking yourself, did I sign up for this? It comes with the territory. If you want to break through, if you want to excel, a price has to be paid, and it's always worth it. Okay, so let's now go to the front page of the Philippine Star, March 14, 2023, and the headline goes, Speaker to Teves, come home, return to work. Okay, the leadership of House of Representatives is calling on Negros Oriental 3rd District Representative Arnulfo Arnie Teves Jr. to come back to the country and return to work as his travel authority expired last March 9. I expect Congressman Arnie to heed my appeal and report for work as soon as possible. His stay outside the country is no longer authorized. Okay, medyo this might sound strange for our viewers, given the fact that I think returning to work is the last concern of Congressman Teves, because even before he was implicated or investigated for the Digamo assassination, a few days before that, if you would recall, the newspapers already carried the headline that he is being investigated and will be charged for another crime similar to what he is now facing. So, kumbaga, double jeopardy na yung mama. Okay. At the top of the front page, ex-Caloocan, former Caloocan policeman in Carl Kulot killings get life. If you remember, this is in connection with the EJK extrajudicial killing of two young, two young, like, they're not boys, but they're not exactly men, who were killed by policemen in Caloocan as part of their anti-drug campaign, and was proven that the two individuals had nothing to do with drugs and just became casualties. Okay, so yun po, the policeman got life sentence. Okay, meanwhile, below that, on the more entertaining news, Everything Everywhere, the movie, is all-conquering at the Oscars. Michelle Yeoh was winner of the Best Actress in a Leading Role award for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Poses with her Oscar following the 95th Annual Academy Awards. To the left of that, you have the cast and other attendees reacting as Everything Everywhere All at Once wins the Oscar for Best Picture. Okay, so yun po. Okay, now, another bit of good news. Philippines on comeback trail, says European Tourism Enterprises. Tourism enterprises from Europe expressed optimism that the Philippines is ready to accept foreign tourists once again in a bid to revive the country's tourism industry. That came from Gerard Carnot, Managing Director of Ultramarina France, declaring at the meeting that French divers love the Philippines. Okay. Meanwhile, further down the paper, the front page, senators on China's criticism regarding our ties with the United States, okay, show sincerity. And yan na po. Okay. Kumbaga, everyone is now issuing statements. Very interesting. Everybody seems to have a press release or a statement, whether they're congressman or senator. Okay. Senate bill seeks traffic light timers to reduce accidents. Yesterday, we talked about the dedicated motorcycle lane for motorcycle riders and motorcycles, but now Senator Mark Villar is pushing for a measure that will mandate the installation of timers in traffic and pedestrian lights in urban and rural areas. To be fair, it is useful in managing expectation and patience of drivers and pedestrians, and yes, it helps reduce accidents, but it would also help kung hindi pinapakialaman ng mga traffic enforcers and ng mga traffic bureau yung mga timers and signal. The problem is we spend hundreds of millions on these gadgets, this traffic management equipment, only to discover that the Kanto Boy traffic enforcer is playing around with the lights or deciding how the traffic flow will go. So, human intervention versus artificial intelligence. Okay. Gas prices up by 1 peso. and diesel lower by, aray ko, 10 centavos. Okay, motorists will see higher gasoline prices today and minimal price reduction for diesel and kerosene. So, the only way to address that, magtipid, plan your travels and be fuel efficient. Wag po kayo nag-o overloading, etc., etc. Meanwhile, President Marcos witnesses the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines, represented by President and CEO Anthony Almeida, okay, and the National Intelligence Coordinating Agency, represented by General Rick De Leon at Malacanang yesterday. Yun na pala, doon na pala si General Ricardo De Leon. Doon na siya sa NICA. Okay, so NGCP NICA seal partnership for security of transmission assets. Ayan na siya. And that's all the news we have on the front page of the Philippine Star. Please buy a copy or get a subscription, or if not, subscribe to the online version of the Philippine Star and read, because there's so much more information inside the Philippine Star. Okay, now let's move on to our program. And today, as I mentioned, we are going to be talking about social media platforms, apps, or whatever they call them. If you would, Gabriel, please roll out the Betamax.
Attorney Jamael Jacob is the privacy coordinator of the Foundation for Media Alternatives. He is also the director of the University Data Protection Office of Ateneo de Manila University. Prior to this, Jacob was the OIC Director of the Privacy Policy Office of the National Privacy Commission. Jean Garcia is the managing editor of the tech news site called TechSabado.com. He is also the business and tech editor of the Manila Times.
Okay, good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, attorney. And Jean, welcome back to the program.
Yes, thank you for having me again, Sito. Good morning to everyone.
Yes. Good morning, Sito. Good morning, Jing.
Good morning,
to
Attorney.
everyone.
Okay, so let's set aside our titles this morning, or your titles. Ako, untitled ako eh. Kumbaga sa kanta, hindi pa napapublish. Okay, but anyway, I actually started on this idea na ano pa talaga, how many people really understand TikTok, Instagram? Most people my age only know Facebook, and many of us have started to kind of step away. Kumbaga, nanonood na lang, hindi na masyadong nagpo-post. But I recently discovered that in other countries, TikTok and Instagram are now becoming business promotions platform and platforms for promoting community concerns or improvement. Now, let me throw the forum to you too, Jean and Jamael, kasi instead of highlighting the negative and the scary parts, what's the good in it for all of us? I'll start with you, attorney.
Okay. So, social media platforms began really with that. I think it's quite a noble purpose of connecting people. And I think early on, Facebook, I think the front runners among all these different social media platforms, although by no means the first, ganun talaga yung naging purpose niya. And for that alone, I think that proved to be beneficial for many of us. It was able actually to connect us with people we have long lost contact with, yung mga friends natin in grade school, high school, and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. But then eventually, these platforms developed and transformed or evolved into something else. And right now, as you mentioned earlier, it's actually become this venue or platform wherein you can essentially parang inform everyone of whatever cause or whatever cause or belief or even advocacies that you have, so that more people are reached by that particular advocacy or cause. And then on the other hand, if you're on the business side, you're also able to reach more potential customers, clients through these social media platforms. The phenomenon we have right now of social media influencers, by the name itself, was created essentially by social media. So I think in general, these are the two things or three things I should say that social media has given to us. But all of them, I guess, go back to that very basic concept of allowing us to connect to more people. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for that, Jam. Now, let me go to Jean. Jean, ang dami na eh. Ang dami na mga platforms. So, medyo more senior individuals like myself, we're kind of like, well, di ba, Facebook lang, pagod na ako eh. Diyan pa sa TikTok at Instagram. But you know, the younger generation keep harassing the older generation. Hello, don't date yourself. Get out of Facebook. Go to IG or TikTok. And like, hello, TikTok, sasayaw ako dyan. Di ba, Alina?
Yes, actually, I agree with Attorney Jam regarding yung platform na nagbabago. Like for example, Facebook is already more than 10 years old and it has to reinvent itself. And kasi yun na nga sinasabi, magsasawa yung mga tao and the kids are looking for another platform. They think that Facebook is for the older platform, which is actually now is perfect for the business-minded people. So, yung Facebook has to reinvent itself as a business platform. So, they encourage the business-minded people to do their own yung community business on their platform. Then the kids naman who will always look for another platform for their generation is going to another platform, like you sabi mo nga, Instagram and TikTok. And I think that's the way what social media has evolved, no? And I think Facebook this is a real challenge for Facebook, how to maintain that more than almost 2 billion Facebook users to be on their platform. Sa totoo lang, Facebook is not on top anymore. Unlike a couple of years ago, the number one social media platform is actually TikTok right now, and the number 2 is actually YouTube. May data tungkol dyan. Lumabas lang recently.
Sandali, Jean. Ang alam ko, Instagram, Facebook, at saka TikTok. Anong YouTube? I thought YouTube was more of an app that for research, for files, for parang repository of information and video.
Actually, YouTube is actually a social media platform. Hindi lang natin masyadong alam, hindi lang pinupush ng Google na ganon, but it's actually a social media platform where people can participate in pushing their own videos, their own content. Most of the social media influencers are actually on YouTube. If you'll notice.
Okay, so open season na ha? Wala nang Q&A, wala nang me first, you first, okay? Tanong ko lang sa inyo, okay? Which are your personal preference? Because like I said, I am still stuck in the Jurassic age. I'm still on Facebook. I do have Instagram, but sabi nga, sara mo na lang yan. Wala namang laman eh. Para ka nagpapatanda ng hangin.
I'm still on Facebook. I think it's the platform that I often use, especially for my online streaming, and of course YouTube.
Okay, what about you, Jam?
I think in my case, it's also Facebook mainly. And right now, though, I think very conscious ako na it's mostly for work also because of the advocacy that I have on data privacy, for instance. I dabble a little in Instagram because I also am keen with photography. And then I think finally, there's LinkedIn for the professional side also. LinkedIn owned by, of course, Microsoft.
Okay, ganito. Okay, Jean, you obviously agree about the LinkedIn. Can you please explain to our viewers ano yung LinkedIn, because I learned of LinkedIn I think Jam 10 years ago pa or more, where my brother-in-law in Europe said you gotta get into LinkedIn, Sito, if you want to expand your professional horizon. But sabi ko, hello bro, you're European, I'm in the Philippines, we're not linked. Okay. So anyway,
yes,
Jean, yung
actually,
LinkedIn, paki-explain nga yung
No,
LinkedIn to mga viewers.
Yes, LinkedIn is just another social media platform which cater naman for the professional people. Actually, ang isang word ko lang diyan naghahanap yung mga headhunters. Sa LinkedIn. Actually, yun lang talaga. But kung tutuusin, doon lang nagko-connect yung mga the corporate people, someone who doesn't like to be on Facebook or any other social media platform. For them is too mainstream. But LinkedIn is becoming like another social media platform because of yun na nga dumadating din naman yung mga ayaw mong tao kasi ito napansin ko sa LinkedIn. So everyone's there is C-level people, no, yung mga nandoon, mga naka-suit sa Makati sa BGC. But everyone now, there are CEOs. Even the 17-year-old and the 18-year-old people are now CEOs in LinkedIn.
yung authentic at saka yung imitation.
Oh, yes.
Taipan and typhoon.
So true, ganda, galing nun.
Okay, Jam.
Still on LinkedIn, no?
Yeah.
I would say that if you compare the two, let's say Facebook and then LinkedIn, you would notice that Facebook people would really use it mostly for sharing photos of their families, friends, their travel photos, and so on and so forth. But with LinkedIn, dyan I think yung pabidahan, you market yourself essentially. Kaya if mapapansin mo, pahabaan ng suffixes sa LinkedIn minsan. Yung mga may, Jam ako, PhD, LLM, etc., kung anong certifications nakuha nila. And then at the same time, every little accomplishment, so-called accomplishment that you are able to get, may pinasa kang exam, may promotion ka, etc., parang lahat i-announce doon sa LinkedIn ng mga tao. And I think that the goal nga really is to expand your professional network and hopefully attract the attention of headhunters, I suppose, and other parang HR units ng iba't ibang companies to get hired. Yan, I think yung main distinction between LinkedIn and Facebook.
But how popular is LinkedIn? Let's begin with the local scenario. If you're looking for opportunities, recruitment, or business links in the Philippines, how popular is LinkedIn among HR and professionals?
I think based on experience, it is quite
Yes.
popular because once you put your profile out there, and if it is attractive enough, good enough, don't be surprised if maya parang merong magsa-slide in ng DM sa'yo and then ask you if you are open to work or if you would like to look at this job description, etc. So it is quite popular, but I guess that popularity is parang based yan sa experience ng individual. If you had a good profile, good credentials, then you will really find LinkedIn very useful. If not, baka ma-disappoint ka or ma-dishearten ka pa nga if walang lumalapit sa'yo or nagko-contact sa'yo after spending some time over there.
Yes. Again, I agree with
Legend.
Attorney Jam. Yes, I agree with Attorney Jam. And yun na nga, kahit ako yung profile ko na sa LinkedIn, hindi naman ako hini-headhunt. Ang sa akin naman, what I receive sa LinkedIn are executives who want their articles published bylined by them. Yun ang napakarami ko nakukuha. And I can get them all over the world.
Wait a minute. Why do you get them?
Yeah, because I'm an editor. I am an editor for a newspaper, right? So
Yeah.
they want their articles, their op-ed published. So they're also looking for platforms nga na mga tao na who can publish their articles. And I do accommodate some of them, especially pag tugma naman sa akin pahina. So especially for regarding cybersecurity, regarding trends in information technology, yung mga ganun.
So I guess your statement confirms my observation that no amount of social media platforms or such things as LinkedIn makes journalists employable. For some strange reason, the minute you have, sabi nga ni Jam, pag meron ka ng mga acronyms or whatever, journalist, hindi ka employable and hindi ka makaka-receive ng message. Baka death threat maka-receive ka.
Mukha nga ganun.
Okay, Jam, you wanted to say something?
No. Actually, I guess I would just add na because actually of this nature of LinkedIn, nagiging na rin actually siyang target na so ito yung dark side also of it. Parang nagiging na siyang way also for hackers, for scammers. Kasi knowing people, kung ano yung reason ng people for going into LinkedIn, so they find a way to trick people into applying into anonymous or actually fictitious rather jobs, and then able to get their information. And then from there, they actually able to hack into the systems of certain companies. I think I've read about I think at least 2 instances in the past kung saan empleyado ng isang major gaming company parang na-hack yung company nila because this person parang was approached by a fictitious company, by a fictitious individual through LinkedIn. And then yun, nag-provide siya ng details and then na-hack yung company nila. So yan, I think also the dark side of a platform like LinkedIn. Dahil alam ng mga criminals yung motivations behind why people are there in that particular platform. Yun yung i-exploit nila and manipulate nila into people into giving information.
Okay, so there are problems. Now, Jam, what about presentation? Because, Jam, you were talking about, if you have a nice profile or if you look good, that reality set is hit home when my daughter who's studying abroad showed me a CV or a resume styled in the Netherlands. And my God, I felt so old. I really felt so third world. Sabi ko, ganyan na ba yung mga CV ninyo dyan sa Europe? And yeah, Dad, you better get a different template. Jam, you were saying about presentation in LinkedIn. How do you at least manage to make yourself presentable?
Well, I think the platform itself parang more or less guides you already into what or how you should present yourselves. Parang paglagay mo pa lang doon, of course, your profile photo, the more presentable you are. Para kahit hindi ka masyadong nag-American or nagbabarong, parang I think that is always advisable for some people. And then may profile ka. And then I think yung basic information you are asked to provide there is, yun nga, parang resume na siya eh. Parang your educational background, your work experience, all these certifications that you were able to gather through the years. If you have publications.
So LinkedIn, the content is clear, okay, but yung style, yung creativity, LinkedIn limits that.
Yeah, I guess parang there is room for you to also be creative in a way. Parang halimbawa, parang there is that place there where you can put a background photo. I haven't seen myself parang how you can actually exploit that and make it work to your advantage. But there are certain spaces there that you are free to do whatever you want with those spaces. And so yun, I think doon magdedepend yung creativity ng bawat individual.
Okay, Jean, buhay pa ba yung National Photographer of the Philippines, si Photomy?
Wala na.
Okay, kasi you're an editor.
Yes.
Okay, and I've talked to so many HR, and sometimes I have to correct a number of them because when they start telling me about the screening process, pictures pa lang talo-talo na. what say you on this subject?
Yes, just to add, no, yung tungkol dyan nga sa LinkedIn, it's still a very conservative platform when it comes to, presenting yourself. Siyempre, alam naman natin, ang HR, karamihan ng HR, tumitingin dyan sa LinkedIn, and what they see is yun ang first impression. So, unless you're actually doing social media influencing, na mala TikTok talaga ang gusto mo i-market, it's still a very conservative platform na talagang dapat nakasuit ka, nakabarong ka, yung tipong pwede mo naman pagawa, yun na nga, hindi na photo me, no? Parang meron ng mga photography shop sa mga mall na pwede kang, kahit naka-t-shirt ka magpa-picture, pwede kang nalagyan ng Amerikana. Ipo-photoshop ka na naka-Amerikana pang visa yung picture mo. Pero that's too much naman siguro sa LinkedIn. Pero syempre, medyo free-flowing naman, pero still bordering on medyo conservative pa rin. Para sa akin yun ang nakikita ko sa LinkedIn kasi ang kasabayan mo doon, like I said, C-level people. Yan yung mga top level sa mga executives ang nakikita mo diyan. Hindi yan yung parang sa Facebook na sa marketplace lang yung nagbebenta ka nagbinebenta mo sarili mo sa marketplace, hindi lang ganoon lang kasimple yun.
Okay. Let's shift gears and go to TikTok. Because when TikTok first came out, everybody reacted to the content and said it's very funny. Most of it is funny, humorous, and then suddenly it shifted to dance numbers, perhaps influenced by the Korean pop culture. Now, Jam, what's happening with TikTok and what are your thoughts about TikTok?
Well, I think I just realized na parang tayo yatang tatlo yung among the least qualified to talk about TikTok experience.
Kaya nga ako nagtatanong eh.
But yeah, based so far on what I have seen and how people use it, so TikTok is basically social media, but instead of pictures, instead of text as posts, it revolves around short videos, very short videos. Now, you can do whatever you want in those short videos. Yun nga, sabi nyo, pwedeng sumasayaw. Yung iba naman parang they actually share valuable information, use it as teaching moments for people, and then advocate for different causes. Parang so, yan essentially yung TikTok. And then of course the challenge is for you if ikaw yung owner ng account is how to make your short videos so popular, so palatable to so many people that people would actually keep on sharing it and sharing until it goes viral. And then right now, and from there, apparently it's very popular. It's to people, especially young people, kasi young people talaga yung number one users ng TikTok. It's become so popular that other social media platforms have taken notice and have adopted it for themselves. Kaya ngayon, di ba, meron ng stories sa Facebook, and then even sa YouTube. YouTube na about videos na nga siya, biglang ngayon meron ka na rin makikitang place there for short videos. So, sabi nga nila, this is, tapos ano ba, Instagram ba, I think yung Reels, or baliktad ko yung Instagram and Facebook. Pero itong short videos, parang ang TikTok talaga yung nag-set ng trend for that. Yeah. And now, all social media companies want that for their own. And then, as far as so yan yung parang general description I would say of what TikTok represents right now. And then on the parang controversial side, parang asan sabi naman nila among the different social media platforms, TikTok naman daw is the most privacy intrusive in the sense that it collects the most amount of information about its users. Parang ang tawag nga nila is our microsignals now. All the information it collects from us are so each one of them is a microsignal. Every time we like something, every time how much time we spend on a particular video, if we share it, etc., etc. Each one of those are microsignals, and apparently TikTok as a a platform, as an app, collects all of these things about us. So between, let's say, TikTok and something like Facebook, ang sinasabi nila, mas comprehensive ang profile ng TikTok about every single one of its users compared to Facebook and other social media platforms. And then from there, of course, knowing now that hawak-hawak nila itong information na to, then we can now think of so many things or so many bad things that could happen if those or if that information about us is not used properly.
Okay, Jean,
Yes.
what are your thoughts on this? Because I guess what I'd like to ask you is you being an editor and also knowledgeable in this area, uh, everybody keeps talking about that, about, sensitive information, about algorithms, etc. And then you end up asking, saan pupunta? Saan ginagamit? Paano,
Yes.
dapat ko pa bang problemahin yan? Inaaliw ko lang yung sarili ko eh. I'm just being very, very common Filipino, no?
Parang ano lang yan eh, Sito, yung tiyatanong natin when we register sa mga nung time nung pandemic, hindi natin alam kung saan napupunta yung data natin pag sinusulat natin number natin sa piece of paper, di ba? Sa trash can ba yan or a marketing people? But first, I would like to give you some numbers, no? Recently lang dinabas ito namin sa Times saka sa Tech Sabado na sa Philippines, yung internet users sa Philippines, 55.6% age 16 to 64 watch vlogs each week, and the largest consumer of such content compared to other countries, which is kasi 25.5 lang ang global average. Imagine 55.6% tayo, ang global average is 25.5. Ang number 1 tayo. Ang number 2 Indonesia, which is below. That's 33.3%. Ang internet users lang nanonood ng mga videos nga, mga video vlogs like TikTok and Reels and Shorts sa YouTube.
Okay.
So,
Jean,
yes.
if you don't mind, we'll just go for a quick break.
Oh, sure.
And then when we return, medyo magkaseryosohan nga tayo ng usapan because meron kayong dalawang natutumbok. You are leading this conversation to something that may be crucial for Philippine media. We're going to go for a quick break. We'll be right back here on Agenda. Okay, welcome back to the program agenda. We're having a very interesting, very amusing conversation regarding social media platforms. Just on the surface, it can be funny, but we hope to bring it now to a serious discussion with attorney Jam Jacob, Director, University Data Protection Office of Ateneo de Manila University, and a regular here on the program, Jing Garcia, Managing Editor of TechSabado.com, Business and Tech Editor of the Manila Times. Okay, gentlemen, Jin, before we went to the break, Jing, you were talking about a study or data that the Manila Times brought out regarding social media platform.
Yes, yun na nga sasabi ko, we are actually one of the staggering yung numbers. So we are number 4 in terms of time spent on social media, which is 3 hours and 43 minutes, and the global average is 2 hours and 31 minutes. Malaki ang difference niyan sa global average. Even in gaming, Sito, we are number 1. Nakakalula nga yung ano natin, no, yung kasi gaming is actually component na rin kasi ng social media ang mobile gaming. So even that itself, napaka yung staggering ng numbers natin. We are number 1. Ang global average is just that's around 95.8% of internet users in the Philippines play video games on any device. Ang global average is just around ano bang global average natin? Nasa 50 plus something lang ang global average natin, ang global average of video gaming. So kasi magkasama na yung component na yun, social media at saka mobile gaming, kasi it's still it's still on the same platform eh.
Yeah,
many of those are being played on the same platform.
Yeah, my favorite question is why? Is it because no? And you know, the question why will lead to many things. Why are we spending so much time on social media and on gaming? Is it because it's cheap? Is it because it's entertaining? Is it because we learn more on social media platforms, shared videos, like you said, short or long form videos on YouTube? What does it tell us about our state, Gene?
I think yung accessibility, na-democratize kasi yung paggamit ng internet dito, and of course yung connectivity. Even people still complaining about connectivity, pero we are actually connected sa internet. Kahit nasabihin mo mabagal internet na, the kids are playing online. Especially tumaas ito, this really went up during the pandemic when everybody's at home, nothing else to do, they can't get out of their houses.
But is it the case of, I don't know if you're a smoker or not, but you know, is it because it's habit forming, Jam? Ano ba ito? Habit forming lang ba ito? Or kasi in my case, I always tell people, if you don't know how to do that, go to YouTube. Marami kang makikitang video sa YouTube, paano magtubero, magkarpintero, etc. You know, Jam.
Yeah, I think there have been studies already showing actually the addictive qualities of social media, and even I would say the internet in general. Pero social media talaga kasi yung who took real advantage of that. And I think the explanation is simple, really. It's their business model. For social media platforms, actually like other platforms, the people and our personal data are the commodities. And the clients and the customers, I think people will still be surprised to learn, hindi tayo yung nag-open ng account sa Facebook, sa TikTok. Ang customers and clients really are the advertisers, the businesses, etc., who want to sell their wares or to promote their services to us. So what they are interested in.
Okay, I think yun, naghang.
So since that is the business model, it is in the interest. Sorry. Ayan. Okay. Okay na ba yan?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead, Jam.
Okay na. Okay. So the business model is really that, no? That we are the commodities and the businesses, advertisers are the clients, customers. And with that as the business model, it is really in the interest of social media platforms to gather as much information about us as possible. The more they know us, the more that they are able to connect us to the businesses, to the advertisers. And how do they do that? They get information. They get us to spend as much time as possible
Yes.
on the platforms. The more time we spend on the platforms, the more information that they're able to get, the more complete our profiles that they are able to maintain. Kaya nga, now we come for circle, we go back to the question earlier na parang why do we spend so much time on these platforms? Because they serve up all this all this content na they think we will be most interested in. Not necessarily because we or get to learn something from these things. I too, parang marami din ako natututunan with some of the things that I get that I am exposed to social media platforms.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So what's happening, Jam? What's happening, Jam, Jean, is they're following our habits and our
Yes.
taste. Kumbaga sa kusinera, kung ano yung niluto niyang nasarapan ka, dadalasan niya yung luto ng ganong klaseng pagkain.
Yes. The more eyeball talaga na makuha nila and the longer we can stay on their platform, the better. Just imagine another number, 229 billion in advertising ang binubuhos ng mga advertising companies sa social media. And ang matindi doon, ilang platforms na nakakakuha ng 229 billion na yon. Hindi yung mga dyaryo, not media companies, but just the social media platforms. Naghahati-hati sa 229 billion
now before we forget another interesting one which is very popular with our children. Ewan ko kung kayo may mga anak na, but baka may apo pa isa sa inyo dyan. Okay, but Instagram, when Instagram came out, I was under the impression, if you like to share your photos, if you're creative, Instagram is it. If you like to travel and show travel videos, Instagram is it. And it's short form. Pero parang hindi na raw yata Jean.
Yes, dati nga ang Facebook pangmatanda na, yun ang ano nila for the older ones. So the kids are now going to Instagram. Pero Instagram is also struggling now kasi nga they need to do what TikTok is doing. TikTok is actually a phenomena when it comes dun sa labanan ng mga social media platforms. Para sa kanila, ang matindi pa doon, it's not an American brand.
Yeah.
Yun ang kinakaano ng mga American, mga Silicon Valley platforms. Yun ang medyo kinakasama yata ng loob nila na natabunan sila ng isang platform that is made in China.
Okay, so what about Instagram? Dapat pa ba natin pag-abalahan? Is it on its way out? The kids don't seem to think so.
I think it's just part of the evolution ng technology, ng mga platforms. Some of them will eventually go out of their way, pero unless mag-reinvent sila or something happens to a social media platform na may bago silang i-offer, kaya nga nagkaroon ng reels, kaya nagkaroon ng shorts. That is because yun yung challenge nung dalawang social media platform against TikTok. And I think eventually technology, Facebook is just what? Sabi ko nga, mga 10, 15, more than 10, 15 years old. And Jurassic na yun. Pagdating sa internet time, that's already Jurassic. Sobrang luma na. Imagine you were using Facebook XP pa ang ang gumagamit pa ng Windows XP yata yung mga tao noon.
Okay, but is there a chance na maging all-time favorite yan? Because, we never thought vinyl would go back. I'm sure CDs will come back, etc. Because most people realize, the good old days were good for a reason.
I think yung mga may mga devices, yes, siguro may retro ano siya, may retro feel, but I don't think for apps. I haven't seen an app that made a comeback. Instagram had their day na siguro. Para sa akin, Instagram already had its day a few years back, but now definitely it's still TikTok.
Okay, well, we're down to our last 5 minutes. I wish there were more, but let's put everything in usable form, as they say, okay? As far as government, as far as companies are concerned, I have always been telling people, just because you post it doesn't mean people saw it. A lot of officials in government and public service became presumptuous about the reach of Facebook, and I told them, baka kung maka-reach ka ng 500 dyan sa account mo, maswerte ka na unless you're boosting it by buying more. Now, Jam, what should people in office, in government, or even in corporate setting bear in mind or know in order to become more effective communicators on these social platforms?
Yeah. I think number one, everyone should keep in mind ano talaga yung primary purpose of social media. Kasi I think most people or a lot of people actually parang get lost along the way dahil nakikita na nila kung ano yung uso ngayon. And then they tend to forget na ito lang actually yung purpose ng social media. It evolves, pero I don't think it has evolved that much na parang nawala na yung primary component niya. So I think connecting people, so for the most part, people we are able to reach are still those people within our orbit, our radar. So if you are a government agency, if you think na you will replace now your traditional parang means or methods of reaching out to the public in order to send crucial information to them, especially let's say during calamities, at sa tingin mo, lahat na lang ibubuhos ko sa social media, that would I think be a big mistake. If anything, they should see these platforms as an additional means, additional tool for them to reach people, but they should not entirely discard all those other communication channels para maipaabot nila sa mga tao yun nga, information na kinakailangan nila, whether sa panahon ng sakuna or dahil may bagong batas, etc. etc. And I think from there, marami nang pwedeng gawing or maganda nang gawing guide yun for any government official or government office, how they go about their work and where to actually situate social media platforms. Para kasi yun nga, I think ang nakita kong mistake ng iba is like schools for instance, during the pandemic, akala ng iba, okay, gamitin na rin natin social media platforms for education, dyan na nagsasubmit ng mga assignments, etc. etc. yung mga tao. I think that would be a very big mistake. Know it for its purpose, its merits, but we should not entirely rely on it for all the many things also that we need to do in our respective line of work.
Okay, Jean, what's your take on this situation? Because marami akong natuturuan ng mga seminars where I tell them hindi na kayo naglalabas ng advertising, wala na kayong billboards, wala na kayong mga flyers, etc. And then you wonder why you don't have participants.
Oo nga, yes. So, kasi marami na sa kanila umaasa talaga sa social media. Akala nila everyone, kagaya ng sinabi mo, everyone thinks na they see everything on social media. Actually, hindi.
Ano ba yung reach per account, Jean? Kasi, may nagsasabi sa akin, maswerte ka na kung may 500 ka. You may have a lot of followers, but the actual viewers of your posts are so limited. What's the real truth?
Depende kung if you're actually boosting your post or just you're just limited to yung tinatawag nating safe zone. Kunyari, meron kang siguro meron kang 10 to 15 na nasa safe zone mo, siguradong yung 15 na yon makukuha nila. Pero just give you numbers again, we have 116 million population. Ang active social media users natin are 84.45 million. That's 72.5% of the population.
Okay.
Pero not necessarily lahat yan nakikita yung information. Imagine,
Even if you have a public account?
Yes, hindi naman lahat yan automatic. Kasi, ginawa rin kasi ng yung algorithms tutukan ko yung Facebook, meron silang algorithm nga na hindi natin alam kung paano nang ginagawa. Minsan umiikot lang sa certain issues, certain people, which is just less than 0.000000000% of what you should see
on 10, 50s and 100s per account, public accounts, Jean, okay, how many real followers are in your circle? Hindi yung safe zone, basta kunyari Jean Garcia, public person, public figure.
It still depends, no, kung nagustuhan nila yung post ko at naging viral, they will share
They
it
will
with
share.
other people. Yes. Or minsan nakakuha nga ako, kunyari nag-post ako something about kunyari the weather right now. Tapos nagustuhan ng marami. Magugulat ako bigla ang dami nagla-like. Ibig sabihin marami akong na-reach.
So
tapos minsan
hindi
magpo-post ako something interesting, akala ko interesting, minsan 3 lang ang nag-like. Ibig sabihin hindi interesado yung mga ibang tao pala sa akin.
Okay.
Usually ganun eh.
Well, I'm gonna have to ask you both to come back to the program.
Sure.
Bitin na bitin. We barely touched the main topics, but anyway, Attorney Jam, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Jean, as always, thank you, and
Thanks
I
for having
promise I'm going to be calling on you sooner than you expected.
Okay.
Because this is more interesting when we educate our viewers and our fellow Filipinos. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you. Good morning.
Okay, God bless both of you. Okay, that's Jean Garcia and Attorney Jam Jacob. And now let's go to our closing blessing for the day from Proverbs 3 verses 21 to 26. My son, do not lose sight of this. Keep sound wisdom and discretion, and they will be life for your soul and adornment for your neck. Then you will walk on your way securely, and your foot will not stumble. Okay? If you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet. Do not be afraid of sudden terror or of the ruin of the wicked when it comes. For the Lord will be your confidence and will keep your foot from being caught. Thank you very much for joining us. May you be blessed all day of the week. Tomorrow po, time out ako. I will be on the road, but I'll be back right away. Have a good day. Thank you for watching us, and please keep it here on One News.